As far as I know, anyone that has ever written something has felt like an imposter at some point. It's one of the most challenging states of the creative process. But we need to overcome it if we want to do our work in earnest. Why? Well, imposters produce terrible work. And if you're like, hey, I'm just feeling like an imposter, well then you're the worst of the worst, because you are impersonating one. Luckily, we can fix it with just one simple rule. Never say something that isn't true. But that's easier said than done. We can say lots of things that are not untrue, but still not really true. Fish sticks are pulled out of the ocean. I've been told that reading books destroys your brain. So say things in a way that they are definitely true. Instead of saying, rockets fly to the moon daily, try saying, I'm told rockets fly to the moon. Politicians are very good at this game, but saying things that are technically not untrue isn't good enough. You can lie all day without saying something that isn't true. Rockets don't fly to the moon daily. But technically I didn't lie. Think of this. A politician says, I'll give you free money. I'll give you free money. Of course, this makes him incredibly popular and he wins the next election. And then he immediately raises taxes to pay for his free money scheme. He made good on his promise. However, to the discerning eye, this was always untrue. Think of it, governments don't actually own any money. They have to take it from us by taxing us. This is how an imposter tells the truth. And if you feel like an imposter, it is probably because you play this game in one way or the other. So how do we play this game unlike a politician, but as a writer instead? As writers, we need to be more sincere in how we define the truth, in what we call true. It requires our discernment. With everything we say and write, we should ask ourselves, really? And then the information should be filtered through our 3 critical character traits. Let's see if it comes out of our digestive tract in one piece. Discernment, which is the comprehension of the obscure, sincerity, honesty of mind, and bravery. But how do you feel brave once the pen meets the paper? Well, you don't. You don't have to feel it. Being brave is not the absence of fear. It's acting despite of fear. All you need to do is make an effort, and the rest will follow. Discernment is the skill to see the obscure, to comprehend it, to, in a way, see what needs to be seen. It's also the writer's most important skill. It allows us to judge without being judgmental. It allows us to split out emotions from our observations, which helps us to see more clearly. Whenever we write something down, we do so at our discretion. Any first draft happens inside the mind. It is to hold your words to the light, yourself to the light, and to observe as objectively as possible what you see. So with everything we say or write, we need to use our judgment and be discerning of what to leave out, what to leave in, how to say it, and what needs to be said. Or as the King James Bible says, Proverbs 29:11, a fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keeps it in till afterwards. Sincerity, which is honesty of mind, which means to acknowledge what is seen, using our discernment, to acknowledge what is not seen, and to acknowledge what is to be done with what we've seen. If we perceive something we wish we hadn't perceived, then so be it. Don't reject it. Use it to your advantage instead. To be sincere is to acknowledge what needs to be done now that you have seen. It is to acknowledge what needs to be said, what actions need to be taken. It is to acknowledge what is insincere, what is pretentious, what is part of your ego speaking. To be sincere is to leave those things out. Bravery. Bravery is the mental and moral strength to venture, to withstand, and to persevere. It means to act on your decisions, despite your fear of failure. It means to say what needs to be said, despite your fear of rejection. Discretion is the better part of valor, but you need the courage to act, to write, to speak. If we work long enough at these 3 traits, what will happen over time is we will build up integrity, which means to be unified, to be of sound construction. And if we are of sound construction, if we are sincere, discerning, brave. Then we know what needs to be said. Then we know how to say it. Then we know what not to say. We will be truthful in a different way than the politician. We won't be just technically honest. We will hold our honesty to the light and say, really? Whenever we say something, can I really know this? Is this what needs to be said, or is this just some frivolous sidebar? Am I writing this because it needs to be there? Am I saying it in a truthful manner? So what differentiates the writer from the politician, while they both use words for a living, is that the writer is more discerning. He doesn't just play by the rules of what is technically true. He doesn't play games. He knows what is true deep down inside and learns to listen to that intuition. The writer takes it upon himself to learn, to understand truth, and to answer the question whether this statement is true or not, on the deepest level, whether or not it is needed or required of him. That is what makes a real writer. So how not to be an imposter? It's simple. To see what needs to be seen, to say what needs to be said, and no more. So that's a very philosophical answer, but a more technical answer would be to know how to write well, to actually write well. And anyone can do it. You need to focus on structure instead of prose, which coincidentally is exactly what this video is all about.